Well, welcome to another episode of Insurance Gone Wild. I am your host, Dennis Settlemeyer, and once again, my lovely co-host,
Stephanie Lencioni.
Lencioni. Man.
It's been a week.
Been a crazy week, hasn't it? Isn't that how we start out everyone?
It's been a week. Yeah. It's always, and we typically record
What
at the
is today,
beginning of the week. I know. So it's like, man, can't even imagine what the rest of the week has in store for us. It's brutal.
We've been sitting here a while. You've heard some of the phone calls I've gotten. So
yeah,
it's just craziness.
Yeah.
So anyway, something that is in the news a lot.
Well, it's just top of mind for everyone, I think. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I think
affecting
so.
everyone in some way.
Yeah, and that is
AI.
AI, not I, but AI.
A to the
Artificial intelligence. So I think, that is affecting everything that we do. And there was actually something that was put out. I don't know who put it out, but the top 100 jobs that would be affected by AI. There was a lot of jobs on there.
Probably 100.
Well, it was 100, but I mean,
If it's the top 100 jobs affected, I imagine.
see what I got to put up
was
with.
100.
See what I've got to put up with.
Do you see what I have to? I imagine it was 100 jobs that were affected. That's a lot. Paul. You know what?
I don't know why it reminded me. Here's our mascot. I don't know why it reminded me of a joke or a girl in school. The little girl was in school and the teacher said, in a million years, the sun is going to burn out. And the little girl's like, what? What did you say? How long? She said, a million years. The little girl went, oh, I thought you said a billion years. Like it makes a difference.
It makes a difference.
It's a bad joke, but
That's
it is
awesome.
what it is. Yeah, AI, but there were a lot of very common jobs on there. Let's put it that way.
There it is. Okay. Sure.
And you know what? Financial advisors was on there. And insurance is considered the financial services industry.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that financial advisors could end up, that could, with AI, could be a thing of...
It's data tracking.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you plug in an algorithm and you're like, hey, follow the trends.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can see how that's...
Follow the politicians. Because they're the ones that are making them... that's a whole nother episode.
There actually are a lot of... Well, there are a lot of channels dedicated specifically to, hey, we're watching what Pelosi's husband is doing, and and like you do what they do, and they have insider information.
A nearly 17,000% ROI. Did you read that? That's true.
No,
nearly 17,000% ROI.
My problem with that is that
but it's not just Pelosi's husband. It's both sides of the aisle that are doing it. How many of them go in with little to no money, come out multimillionaires, right?
Yeah, and it's supposed to be a public service job.
Yeah.
And
not all of them do that, but a lot of them do that. Anyway, we're going to digress onto something else.
Side note,
but I could see that part of the financial industry could very well, even part of insurance could be taken over by AI. I think that they're going to have a harder time replacing the agents, because the insurance company's been trying to get rid of the agents for years.
A long time. Geico. And then all of a sudden,
guess what?
Geico now lets us sell
they
their
want
products.
agents.
They want agents. They want brokers.
By the way, we
agents.
have Geico.
We do. But that's the point, though. When Geico first came, they didn't have storefronts. They didn't have an office that you could walk into. It was an 800 number. You go online, you do the thing, and there weren't agents.
Yeah.
Now...
Then they come up with offices, Geico-only offices.
Old, like captive
and
things,
now they're
whatever.
closing
and now
those
they're
down.
like, oh.
We want the independents.
We need the independents to go ahead and carry the load for this.
Yeah.
And so...
I think that, and we've talked about this before, even when we did our live recording that we did at the restaurant. We talked about how insurance is such a complicated thing. It's not just data tracking. There's a lot of law that goes into it, because the policy is actually a contract a little contract. It's not just a policy; it's a contract. We call it the policy,
little or big, still a contract.
Yeah, we call it the policy because that's somebody named it that, but it's literally just a contract.
Yeah.
Between an insurance company and an individual, or or your
two parties.
Business. Yeah,
right.
Two different parties. So
two sides.
And people don't understand it. Insurance companies love it when you don't understand it. Why? They don't have to pay out. They want you to go online and buy the insurance. The problem is people don't understand what they're buying. And even though it may say, hey, uninsured, underinsured does this, personal injury protection does this, they don't fully understand the ramifications if they don't have it.
Correct.
And that's the key, right? There is our mascot yet again.
She is. She's pretty darn cute, though, I will tell you.
Anyway, it is, I think it's going to be difficult to replace the agents. When it comes to AI, as far as what insurance companies are doing, big brokerage companies are big, like nationwide brokerages companies are doing, I'm not seeing not as of yet, right now, I'm not seeing the independent agent as we are in any jeopardy of losing what it is that we offer to clients and prospects.
Okay, so
right now.
Where I think AI is
maybe
coming
in 10,
into
15,
play,
20 years, but not right now.
Where I think AI is coming into play more so for that's actually affecting us.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I really do think, and I have been one person who really has been anti-AI for a very long time. And I'm like, just human touch, all the things, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Technology challenged technologically. But I do think there are a lot of things where AI and processes and systems and things can be very beneficial to the agent, but it's on the running of the business side of things where I'm concerned and where it is coming into play with what we're doing is when these carriers are using AI for their analytics and for their basically determinations of, do we want this risk? Do we not want this risk? Again, where the carrier is going to step in and say, hey, this is how we're making our eligibility determination. So
we call it underwriting a risk assessment.
Okay, well,
that's the technical term. But you're right.
For you, like eligibility for us is like, it's just different. But
that's fine. Right. On health side, it's eligibility,
But either way, but underwriting essentially. And so when AI is now doing the underwriting portion, so we had a company meeting today, and part of that meeting was we were talking about, so again, Dallas, Fort Worth areas where we are, there's super amounts of growth where you have specifically in our conversation, we had where there used to be a 700 acre plot of land that has now been subdivided. And in the process, and it's being built out. So it's not like you just wake up and all of a sudden the whole subdivision is built out. Mm-hmm. So when you're trying to get coverage for these homes in this newly subdivided land, it can be challenging because if the AI system doesn't have the correct data or whatever, they're basically saying, hey, ineligible, we don't want that risk, blah, blah, blah. And so one of our agents actually, they're like, I've even sent in like newspaper clippings and, copies of this saying, hey, here's where the fire department just got, up and running and is good to go. And so this is a true functioning town, city, safe. It's all the good things. And they're like, nah, but it's not in our system. So no. Mm-hmm. So they're denying it for the wrong reasons because their information isn't accurate.
Yeah, we're running into that. I've run into that with, and I think I talked about it in the meeting where we had one that's 10 minutes from downtown Fort Worth. They had the fire department classified incorrectly for stuff right outside the city limits of town.
Right.
And this one company was like, yeah, we can't write it. I'm like, what do you mean you can't write it? It's literally just on the other side of the city limit sign. Yeah, we can't write it because it's a PPC, whatever. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's this. And I said, look it up here's the website for the fire department.
Yeah.
Your database is incorrect. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, well, that's so with AI, they take away the human ability to say,
correct.
Oh, yeah, okay, that was messed up. That's our bad. We'll go ahead and we'll adjust this and da, da, da. I will say there are some things where if you're outside of city limits, you're outside of city limits, you're outside, like it just is what it is, what it is. If you're...
But not in Dallas, Fort Worth. Being outside of city limits doesn't mean anything.
Well, to an extent, I would say to an extent, you're either in city limits or you're outside city limits. And I think at some point you have to draw the line. Like,
you can't tell where the city limit stops and the city starts around here.
True. But I'm saying, like in your example, though, you were able to provide data and proof that like, hey, this is incorrectly classified. But I do think there is a line at some point where it's like, well, I'm thinking of like in life insurance now where it's like, well, yeah, I'm 50 now, but I'm only 50 by a day. And they're like, yeah, but you're still 50. Like we can't rate you at 49 anymore because you're 50.
Statistics, right?
That's not statistics. But that's the line where it's like at some point the line has to be drawn.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. They base it off statistics. You're 50 years old now, so statistically we think that this is going to happen.
Yeah,
but with what I had, they were wrong.
No,
and they weren't willing to adjust their database.
I understand that part, but I'm saying there are some places where it's like, if you still are technically outside of city limits, then you're outside of city limits.
Yeah.
Even if you're that close, but your taxes are based on outside of city limits. So it doesn't matter. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, the risk assessment stuff with AI, I mean, they are able to predict, but I don't know if I'd say really good yet or not. But they are able to predict like how often a hailstorm might hit based on historical data.
But that's also generic. It's not just, I mean, do you say just per location, like exact location? Or
I don't know.
I mean, if you look on the Weather Channel, it says like on your app, right? And you're like, hey, I'm checking the weather for today or for the week, the 10-day forecast. They're like, oh, well, Saturday's 45% chance of rain. Okay. But it's not a 45% chance that you're going to get rain. That 45% means that 45% of the area is projected to get rain. So you may be 100% of your time, depending on where you are. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's a different...
Yeah, I think right now... I'm just
saying, like, the prediction...
I've run across this the last few years where they were using AI even before AI became the term.
Well, sure.
They were doing forecasting models. And with AI, that kind of sped up in what they think is more accurate with the forecasting models. I would still argue that it's not accurate yet. Because if it were accurate, we wouldn't have the crazy market that we've had the last 2 or 3 years where they were losing so much money and they weren't trying to get ready for all the hailstorms and stuff. So all of a sudden they got caught with their pants down, so to speak, and
naked. Full circle.
Not this past year, but for the last 2 or 3 years, they have been scrambling trying to make up for all the money they lost the prior 3 years. It's like, could you not predict that this was going to happen? We know we're going to get a freeze every X number of years.
Right.
This one was a little different that it was statewide, but we know we're going to get a freeze every number of years. We could not have predicted COVID, but I don't know. COVID did hurt things.
I have a different opinion about that, sir.
Well, COVID did affect things,
but predicted that the ones.
But they should have been able to predict that there was going to be some massive something that could happen. You know, they may not have called it COVID. They could have just called it an illness, a virus born, illness or whatever. They should have all in their actuaries. See, I am not a fan of actuaries. I think they're guessers. I don't think because going back again, they should be able, if they're really good, they should be able to predict more than they predict.
Okay, so
a better job at predicting what they predict.
And so I'm going to get, and we don't have to spend too much time on this because it gets pretty political pretty fast, but the COVID thing, I don't think there was a way to predict that with any actuaries or analytics or anything, because that was, in my opinion, and go ahead and blow us up because that's fine. And there's all the proof out there in the world if people just want to pay attention to it, but like, that was basically warfare on like that It was put out into the world. It didn't just happen. It wasn't like a random ape got loose and started biting the shit out of people. I understand what you're saying, but on the commercial, that's not how do you actuarially predict that? You know what I think? It is in their actuaries. Somebody's going.
And here's why I know
that big thing.
Well, I don't know if that necessarily that big, but I do know it's in their actuaries because in commercial policies there were exclusions for virus-borne illnesses.
Well, okay, yes, because we've had things like swine flu and this and that. This was different, and then the COVID thing was so heavily politicized to where they shut shit down. They completely handicapped the entire United States, let alone the world. I mean, that to me is such an outlying situation.
I think the thing with AI is it's supposed to be better quoting, more accurate quoting, which is supposed to lead to better pricing and more stable pricing.
And it's supposed to, but it doesn't.
And fewer underwriting losses.
I totally agree. Well, yes. But it's not doing that. And so it's misreading.
I don't think you can, you don't know what the weather's going to do in North Texas.
Yeah.
You don't know what the weather's going to do. I mean, the last 2 or 3 years we're supposed to have really bad hurricane seasons. This year was supposed to be really bad. Guess what?
Pretty tame.
How many do we have?
I don't even know.
We had one hit Dominican Republic.
But as far as the United States, I don't know that we got hit. No. Like we haven't had any big, oh my gosh, because we've got family down in Houston. So it wasn't any, I remember, I don't know how many have hit and how many big rainstorms or tropical storms or anything, but.
So we know they're using it for underwriting and risk assessment, whether it be P&C or health or whatever. We know that they're doing that. I don't think they're doing a great job at it yet. That may change. And I would argue that. They would argue probably that it is, but I would say the proof's in the pudding. Why do you keep raising your dadgum rates if you're so good at this? Because you keep saying you're losing money. Well, why are you losing money? Because you're not charging the right premiums to begin with.
Right.
So that would be my argument. The other thing the place that I do think that can help though is claims. Because I think that there are a lot of claims that you don't necessarily need somebody literally a claims adjuster touching.
In fact, it would be better if they didn't because they're terrible.
Well, there's that.
They're terrible.
But I think that if you get an area of hail, let's just use hail, and from parametrics, which is looking at NOAA and National Weather Center and different places like that, that there was 2-inch hail for this amount of time in this area. They can get it down. My understanding is they can measure it down to within 50 feet. I believe they can do that with all the models that are out there. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
You don't need an adjuster to come out and look to see if you have hail damage on your house when you have 2-inch hail in your area and they know within 50 feet. You go down the street and they know that there's going to be hail down one street. Or they can follow the swath because they have all the maps that show.
I know.
They have all the data. I don't think you need an adjuster involved. I think you just make the claim. The insurance company pays or doesn't pay, whatever they're going to do. But I think that they could help that. Or a renter's policy. You get a renter's policy, somebody's got water damage. As long as they can prove that there was water damage, like the upstairs neighbor plugged his commode, it came through. It damaged a bunch of your stuff down below. You don't need an adjuster to get involved with that. As long as you have proof that you can send in, AI can look at the proof and see if it's accurate or not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I totally agree with that because I think there are too many people that are still trying to commit fraud with it. And so there would be abuse to that. Just because there's got to be some sort of human... There's got to be some sort of human barrier to say, okay, no, this is wrong. I see what you're seeing. So I'll take the roofing thing first. So I'm going to address a couple of these. I don't totally disagree with you. I think to an extent, yes. But I also do think it does matter quality of roof because just
send in pictures.
Sending in the pictures for
AI
sure.
AI can look at the pictures.
Yes. And making sure that you truly have all of the required, and the roofers can do that. They go out and they show the required pictures Like the angles and everything to confirm that this is in fact the house. We haven't just taken pictures of the neighbor's house and then we're paying for a roof replacement.
And they can pull information from Eagle View to see, okay, this is actually the roof that goes with this house.
So because I'm telling you right now, we have literally looked at houses before on a street years ago when Keller got hit with that like 3.5 inch hail and it just pummeled people.
Yeah.
We specifically looked at 8. Mm-hmm. And some of them were like in a row, but they were on both sides of the street. Mm-hmm. Only half of them actually had damage. Mm-hmm. But they're on the same street and they're in the same block. Like only half of them actually had damage to where my person was like, make a claim. And then it was like, nah, you're good. Like I do not make a claim. Like you just weren't for whatever reason. And that's what's crazy with storms is that it really is like even tornadoes. It's like your neighbor can get wiped out and you're like, ooh, I missed a shingle. I'm missing 2 shingles up top.
We have a program that can help with that.
Oh, I get that. But my point is, so I think there's got to be, I don't think there's, when it comes
but AI can review, I'm saying the AI can review pictures. If you have a fender bender and you send in pictures, all the required pictures, you can run it through AI. AI can examine that.
It should be able to
and determine if it's physical damage and go,
here's your estimate.
Now, it's an estimate at that point. Yeah. And then you get the supplement and you can send in, AI can help, and it could go a lot quicker. There are areas I think AI brings in the claims handling process that can speed things up.
And I think in the sense of, hey, I'm getting information, I'm analyzing this information, but not a prediction. I think the AI with the prediction is where it needs to not be. And we still have to use, there can be programs and all of the things, and I think that's great. But there's got to be human oversight.
Well, you mentioned fraud. I think AI can help with fraud too. Because as well as I do, there are people out there that try to commit insurance fraud. And some of them do it maybe once in their life. Others may do it on a regular basis. So much so that the court says you're not allowed to bring a claim anymore.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you that is extremely rare.
As a claims adjuster or an insurance company, there are, for lack of a better term, they keep a list of that stuff. They know they can go back and see how often you've been involved in a court case and things like that. And whenever they run into that, automatically the flag goes up. Okay. Maybe that's when you get a real person involved.
Yeah.
But as long as you got the pictures that show the damage, whatever it is, on your side with the health side, I go to the doctor prescribes me whatever, I send it in. How does it work on your side? Does the insurance, you get to count it toward your deductible or whatever the thing is? Does somebody physically look at that, or is it AI that scans that and applies a deductible?
And then we've talked about that too. Like on my side, you have the providers playing a game and then the insurance company playing a game. And then you've got sometimes the insureds, like the members playing it. Everyone's playing a damn game. Mm-hmm. So that is, I don't know that system is way broken.
I get what you're saying.
So it's a little bit different, but
just at the bottom line of, do you need somebody going in and reviewing stuff, or you just send it in and go and move on?
No, but that's what I'm saying. I think you're right. In the claims world, there is an element to where AI should be able to sift through and say, okay, what was coded? Why was it coded? Oh, this code doesn't typically go with this code, so now we have a red flag, and now it needs to be sent to a person.
Possibly, yeah.
Right.
Possibly,
so as far as the health insurance part goes, right, or it's like on an auto claim, it's this is a part of the quote, and all of a sudden, like, these are the details of the accident. They rear-ended somebody, and then all of a sudden we have a right rear bumper adjustment. Mm-hmm. Well, how did that happen? So then you get it reviewed. How about the call
that I just got? How about the call I just got? One of our clients tapped somebody, literally tapped. They got out.
Rear-ended, so technically, it's like in a rear-end situation.
There is a liability on our client's part.
But a tap.
Yes, but they got out. They looked at each other's vehicles. Not a scratch on the person that they bumped. Not a scratch on our insured's car. Now, all of a sudden, the person that they hit, this is a rear ending, right? Now the person that they hit is stating, oh, well, I had to go get my Serpentine belt, the belt that runs everything in the engine, replaced because you hit me in the back end. I'm like, what? I'm like, no. Tell them to make a claim and good luck, because it doesn't work like that.
Right.
So that's, in my opinion, there's something not right going on there. Let's just put it that way.
Sure. Absolutely. I mean, if there is no damage.
But they weren't complaining about being hurt or headache or whiplash or anything like. It was like, I need you to replace my Serpentine belt. Well, guess what? I know a little bit about vehicles. That doesn't happen.
Right. And I will say there is a lot of, like, as far as claims go for medical things and bodily injury, there's a lot of, I'll call it AI. Again, I would say automation and automatic valuation, which now AI is the buzzword, but it wasn't back then, like when I was in claims.
Yeah, it's been around for years.
Yeah. So it's like you plug in data and then it spits out a value. Well, welcome to AI, right? That's what that is. Yeah. So there is that with, you do it for vehicles. Like, hey, this is market value. This is the damage. This is what happened. We can offer you this many miles. This was the condition of the vehicle. It's a calculation. Yep. And then the same thing with bodily injury claims. If that person were to have said, well, my neck really hurt and and we're like, all right, here's the information of the thing. Here's $300. Sign here, press hard, leave us alone. Like, here's your $300 check. Just get out of our life. Yep. Or whatever the valuation is these days. But
yep. All right. So
I feel like we got off topic of where I thought we were going to go with all of this.
We're with AI. I'm bringing it back a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's
one of the things with AI that can help at the agency level. I'm not a fan of it. I've used it with other insurance companies and stuff. I actually despise it.
Okay.
But it's chat AI, where you're chatting with a robot, with a bot, they call it.
They can get real good.
I hate them. I hate them. I hate them because they can never answer my question. Because for me, if I'm taking the time to answer the question or ask the question, I need more than a robot to sit there and ask me 15 different ways what my question is. And, but I know they're out there. There is AI.
Time and a place.
There is AI.
Time and a place.
There's AI that will answer the phone. I've heard it.
Oh, they sound like people.
You don't know you're talking to an AI.
Yeah.
It is that good, and that's scary.
Yeah, except sometimes there's just a little bit of a delay.
Yeah, there is, but
yeah.
The voice sounds fine. The answers sound fine. Everything sounds fine. The next thing you know, you've added a vehicle to your policy and never talked to somebody in the office. Now, the good thing about that from our perspective is all that gets recorded in a text and gets added to the customer services account as a note. They called in, added this. The new car was added to this policy number on this date, blah, 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 blah. Now, you have to go back and you have to double check that to make sure it actually was. But hopefully you don't have to sit and type all the information in. It's already completed. Right. I can see that being a benefit to an agency.
There's plenty of AI.
I don't like the fact you're not talking to a real person.
But they don't feel that.
I would not be comfortable doing that. Maybe I'm too old school. But again, if I'm picking up the phone and calling, I promise you right now, that AI bot cannot answer my question. Well,
in what regard? From an agent standpoint?
Yeah, because I'm asking policy questions.
Yeah, but from an agent standpoint, but you're not. But you're coming at the initial thing was, if I'm a client calling in and saying I need to change my vehicle, I just bought a new car, and
that's
traded
easy.
it in.
That's an easy change.
To me, like from a client perspective, I'm like, I don't really care who I'm talking to as long as it feels smooth, it is smooth, and I know that I just got my ID card, my updated ID card within 3 minutes of having the conversation with whoever I had a conversation with or whatever I had a conversation with. Mama's happy. I got my ID card. It got emailed to me. This got updated. My coverage is there.
I get
I'm solid.
from that, but I'm talking me as an agent.
Well, no, I know. But,
I don't like it.
But I'm just saying that That was a
Not
different.
as me as a customer, as me as an agent. I don't like
So you as an agent, and I would say time and a place. Just like for me with certain things, like there's a time and a place.
I got the time and the place for them.
Yeah, I know. But if I'm trying to say like, hey, I just need to figure out how can I get to blah, 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 or is this an appetite you guys want, right? Like, do you have an appetite for this risk? They may know that. No.
AI?
Yeah.
No. Let me tell you why.
Do you like restaurants? No.
Let me tell you why.
Okay.
They're going to say, okay, let's go with restaurants. Okay. We like restaurants. Okay. I have a restaurant that is 3,000 square feet. It's got 40% liquor. It's open from 8 a.m. to midnight. Will you take that? Yes. Okay. They have drink specials from 10 to midnight. Will you take that? If you don't ask that question, the answer is yes. As soon as you say that, the answer is no.
Okay. Can I stop you for a second though?
Because it doesn't differentiate in those things.
Hold on though.
No.
No. Hold on though.
This is my world.
No. You call and you're talking to a real person.
That's different.
Hang on. No. Hang on. I'm going to do the exact sequence that you did. Hey, I've got this. Do you take restaurants? Yes. From real person. Awesome. So they're open from 8 a.m. to midnight. Do you take that? Yes. And if you as the agent and the 40% liquor and blah, 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 do you take that? Yes, we do. And then you say, well, okay, well now they do drink specials from 6 to 8 for happy hour. Oh, no, we don't take those. That's considered a bar. It's the same conversation that you're having with a person.
But here's the problem. That's not programmed into AI right now. Because if I go to an insurance company's appetite guide and it says, we do restaurants, fine dining, casual dining, tableside, whatever. I'm looking at that going, nothing says anything about alcohol. I'll just go ahead and write it. Well, then you come to find out they don't like alcohol.
But that has nothing to do with the AI problem. That has everything to do with the fact that their appetite guide didn't even make sense.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying, because they're going to base it off the appetite guide.
I know, but you even have conversations with people. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. And they've specifically told you, yes, we like that. And you're like, okay, great. I called you, had a 30-minute conversation with you. I asked you all of these questions, and now you're telling me that you don't like it.
Exactly.
I don't know what your argument is, because the people that you're talking to are still idiots.
Because it's going to be based off, AI will be based off.
But I'm saying that people themselves are stupid.
Hold on a second.
All right.
AI will be based off of what the underwriters are programming. Somebody's got to program it, right? And you're right. The underwriters many times will give you an answer, yes or no. But as you continue to probe them deeper and deeper and deeper, then the answer may change. So we have one. They're like, yeah, we write restaurants. Yeah, we write restaurants with alcohol. Great. That's what I wanted. Okay. So we're going to quote it. We go to quote it. And then another underwriter comes on and goes, looks like they have a dance floor. Yeah, they've got a dance floor. It's a small dance floor. They just pull the tables back. The restaurant we did work at, did the recording at. They're like, yeah, we don't do dance floors. I'm like, you just told me 2 days ago you would write it. And I told you it had a dance floor. I told the other underwriter it has a dance floor. Now you're telling me it won't. I'm saying that there's so much confusion behind appetite that I don't think they can get AI correct.
Okay.
In that regard.
Okay. So.
Nope.
What I would say to that. Okay. What I would say to that is they can't even get their own people on the same page. So you're absolutely correct. And at that point, if they can't program their people to understand how to answer a damn question, they certainly can't program a program to answer the damn question. So that seems to be a carrier issue and a complete incompetence from the top.
Here's another one. I agree.
Okay.
Here's another one.
That has nothing to do with AI being the issue. That has everything to do with the carrier being a dumbass.
Here's another one. Do you do this? No. Okay. Hang up. I'm like, man, they got a quote from somebody else on the same thing. I call back. Get somebody else. Do you do this? Oh, because I saw a class code for this, but you're saying you don't do it. Oh, well, that particular, when they do it that way, we classify it as not A, but Z. I'm like, why? That's just the way we classify it. AI can't distinguish that yet.
But neither could the first person you spoke to.
That's what I'm saying.
I understand.
That's what I'm saying.
That's my point, though. The argument isn't
I think we're arguing the same thing.
Yeah, the argument isn't that AI can't do it. The argument is AI is only as good as it's been trained or programmed to be.
That's
and
right.
so if these people who can't even be taught how to answer a freaking question, then I would actually argue that AI would probably be a little bit more accurate.
No.
Or at least consistent.
It'd be consistent.
Well, and that's fine.
But it's not accurate.
No, but what you want, well, then it would be consistent. And then it would actually end up stating, it would give the trend, because if every agent coming in is saying, oh, do you do this, and AI is giving them the same response.
I'm not big on it.
I don't need you to be big on it. I'm not saying that I'm huge on it. All I'm saying is it has nothing to do, like that portion does not have to do with whether or not AI could do the job, because I'm here to tell you, I bet if you are competent in how you program it, this is our appetite. If this, then this. If this, then this. If this, then this. And you program it all in there, AI can do it. People are the ones who give a ton of error. And I'm coming off like the pro AIer here. And that is not at all what I'm trying to do, because anybody who knows me, like, that's not my jam. But those are questions that are easily answered if you give the information, where it should say, okay, does it have a dance floor? Does it have this? And it should be triggered to say, hey, you have, what type of business, restaurant, how big, boom, does it have this, boom, boom, boom. And then it puts you through a series of questions. And then it says, yes, we want that. Or nope, sorry, disqualified because of dance floor. I like, that's an easy workflow to work through. It doesn't work
like that in real life. That's the problem.
And that's fine, but I'm saying if you're having issue, so your shit sucks across the board, though, because you can call and every single time you're going to get a different answer depending on who answers the phone. So that's not an AI problem. That's a training issue within your carrier, period.
I don't disagree with that. But that affects the answer you get from AI.
But I'm just saying that's not an AI issue. That's a carrier issue. It's not an AI issue. It's a carrier issue.
I understand what you're saying, but going back to what you said, AI is only as good as the information you put into it. But
100%. But clearly, you know that the people there are not exactly the top brass either.
Yeah.
Like,
and that happens with most companies.
Yeah.
That I call.
Yeah.
You'll get different answers. When we were with Company X, we used to call intentionally 2 or 3 times until we got the answer we wanted. Because we knew if we called enough, we would get a hold of somebody that would give us the answer. Hey, please note the account that you've given us, blah, 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 to be able to go forward with this. Okay. They'd note the account. So all you had to do is keep calling back till you got a hold of the right person that didn't know what they were doing.
Well, that seems tricky.
Well, usually it's over little crazy stuff. It's like, really? You don't want... No, let me call back.
Let me call back.
And so it's nuts.
It's
nuts.
But that is a flaw in so many things.
Can you imagine Company X using AI for that kind of stuff? Because they didn't want anything. They said they wanted everything on the commercial side, but they wouldn't write anything outside.
No, they wanted an office building that wasn't ever occupied, but had to be occupied by like a person who just basically
an accountant, a doctor, and a lawyer, and maybe a restaurant, and that's all they wanted.
Maybe.
But they said they had an appetite for everything until you called them to say, "Hey, I've got this. How do I write it up?" Then they would intentionally ask enough questions to deny it. So,
yeah,
So anyway, whole other story.
Let me. Yeah,
we've got to wrap it up.
Oh, we've argued for a long time on this one.
I know we've agreed and disagreed.
I don't know that. First of all, this conversation when we were talking about the topic, I think you
like AI. I think you're a fan.
I have absolutely grown to become, because I think there's so much automation and there's so much stuff. Why there's human error in so much. And again, we have to release control, you and I do, to other people and relying on them to do the right thing and make sure there aren't errors and this, that, and the other. And so if there is a system where it's like, hey, this is kind of the not foolproof, but kind of, then yeah, and you're taking a little bit of human error out of it, but there's still enough where you have to keep human touch. You have to keep human interaction, and you have to keep the relationship. So I believe in all of that 100%. But it should not be data entry 27 times the same information because we have to put it into 27 different systems. Because we have 50 different systems that we could use. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, why not automate it, make it quicker, make it faster? It's more efficient for you. It's faster quotes for the client.
I think there's a place for it.
I think there's a time and a place. That's all I'm saying.
But some of the things that I have mentioned, I just don't think it's there yet.
But the people aren't there yet. Your customer service underwriting people are not where you need them to be. Period. They're not, because they can't even answer your questions consistently.
No, it's been, and I have complained to them before. I say, it's really bad whenever I have to teach you how coverages work.
Right. Well, and I literally have carriers where they just stopped.
They're not the end all. Underwriters aren't. They don't know everything. They're supposed to act like they know everything, but they don't know everything.
Well, no, and we've talked about this, and you're like, well, hey, why did this happen? And they're like,
Other companies don't do this. Well, I don't know about other companies. I've worked here for 25 years. Okay. So.
Well, and to their.
Let me talk to a supervisor.
Right.
Maybe the supervisor knows.
All I'm saying is when we discuss talking about AI, this is not how the conversation
I'm going to tell you what.
But I don't mind it. Like, I don't mind being mad at you and disagreeing with you and thinking that you suck. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. But I never thought at the end of this, I would be the one defending AI. And you're like, of this whole situation, this is never how I foresaw this happening. I have to tell you, like, I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. Am I a bot right now? Like, I don't even know. Like, maybe a bot has like...
No, you talk too much. Bots are straight and to the point. You ask a question, here's the answer.
Well, then I definitely know you're not a bot either.
I take the long way around, don't I?
Both do. Yeah.
All right.
My mom the other day, she was like, honey, I get it. Just get to the point. I was like, damn it, Mom. All right, fine. This happened. And she's
then I went around the corner.
Hilarious.
Then I went around the corner and paid the...
Yeah. Whatever. Wrap us up. Good talk, right. AI.
All right. See, we don't always agree on everything. So it's good. Hey, listen, if you have questions and comments about AI, you have a comment about it. What do you think about AI? How do you think it could be used in whatever industry that you're in? How is it being used? We would love to find out, because it is a thing. It is here. It's going to do nothing but grow. It's going to become more integrated in our lives to the point where, like, some of these voice activated things, we don't even know we're talking to AI. We're just talking to a voice, and it's going to get smoother and smoother and smoother. Right now, I don't think it's there. I think it will get there. And it's going to be an interesting transition, as it's going to be like the telephone was. The way it's going to get rid of a lot of things, like we don't have
get rid of the operator,
the Pony Express.
Dispatch.
We don't have the telegraph. We've got the phone. Now we got cell phones, and we've got this and that. So it's a completely different thing. Oh, now we have smartphones, right? So we have a computer in our phone's more of a computer than what NASA have, and they sent it to the rocket to the moon.
Can't even talk about that.
But anyway, if you believe there was a moon landing. But any case, I would love it if you guys would comment. This is Insurance Gone Wild. I'm Dennis. This is Stephanie. Give us a call, 817-753-0093, or email us, contact@igwpodcast.com, and look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.
Subscribe.